Love them or hate them, today we're talking prologues. What are they? What is their purpose? And should you include one in your novel? If you're new here, my name is Aaron. I'm a 3-time self-published author, and on this channel I talk about the writing process as well as document my journey towards becoming a traditionally published author. First off, what is a prologue? It comes from the Greek word prologos. Pro meaning before, and logos meaning speech. Prologos, which in my opinion is far better than being an amateur logos. In novels, this is a chunk of story that happens before the main events, before your chapter 1, and generally it's going to be sometime potentially way in the past, way before the main inciting incident, before your story really kicks off. In theory, their purpose is to help you set up your world and establish a tone and promise of the story you're telling to readers in a meaningful way. This could just be context about the world and what is going on, or it could be a super specific event that will become incredibly important at some point in your story. When prologues are done well, they're even better upon rereading them because you can see all the little tidbits of information that you missed the first time around, the foreshadowing, just the tiny details that really make it worth it. However, nowadays, a lot of people are anti-prologue and might skip them or not even read a book because of it. Tell me down in the comments, are you someone who always reads a prologue, or do you completely skip and avoid them every chance you get? Prologues can have a reputation of just being an information dump, a blast of exposition with zero context, or a bunch of world building just pushed onto the reader. Or they could be long and drawn out situations about characters that you don't know and you don't care about. And they're probably not the main character, so you don't even want to get invested in them. Or sometimes a prologue will be really well written and it will draw you into it and you'll care about the characters and the events that's happening, and then the prologue ends and you go to chapter 1 and it's about completely different people, and it's like you're literally starting a new story again, which can be just kind of off-putting, a bit of a letdown. If you can't tell, I'm not a huge fan of prologues, although I do always read them when I'm going through a story because that is how the author intended to tell their story. It is part of the process. So I will read them every time, even if I really don't like it. Although I have stopped books before because of a prologue. It's just like, okay, this is people in a field talking about sheep for page after page after page and a festival, and it's like, I don't care. Just get me into the action. In the novel I'm working on, I don't have a prologue, although I do have an introduction. And I would say that there's a strong distinction between them because for an introduction, it's not actually a part of the story. It's not a scene that's happening, at least for me. It's about 100 words of the narrator, the main character, directly addressing the reader. It's just, hey, this is who I am, bam, 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 let's go. And for my story, I think it's going to work really well. Obviously, this doesn't always work. Mine is told in first person, and it's very much aware that it is a story as the narrator is relaying it to you, the reader. But that might not be the case for everyone. So should you include a prologue in your story? The answer is that it really depends. If you feel like you absolutely need to, and you can pull it off without letting the reader get bored or want to put the book down, then by all means, absolutely go for it. But I would caution you to make it relatively short, punchy, and to the point, and then boom, straight into the story. But if you don't absolutely need a prologue in order to tell your story in the best way possible, then I say to just completely skip over it. You can absolutely introduce world building and foreshadow and leave little tidbits of information throughout chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3 without making a whole separate prologue, a section dedicated to that. For me, when I'm reading something, I immediately want to know, 1, who is the character or characters that I, the reader, am supposed to care about? And 2, what do they care about? So who should I care about? What are their problems? What do they care about? For me, that's like the number one thing. You want to establish that as soon as you possibly can and get the reader invested. Make them actually care, because otherwise it's just a scene of something happening to someone with no context, with no stakes in it, no emotional relation to that character at all. For an example of what I would consider a good prologue, check out Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn. If you just Google Mistborn prologue, it comes up on his actual website. It's a couple thousand words. You can just read through it all right there. If you haven't done it, if you haven't read the book before. It is a relatively succinct little couple snapshots of story that demonstrate a lot of facts about the world. You see kind of the societal differences and this class of people versus this class of people, a possible rebellion. You get to meet one of the main characters, Kelsier, in a short little burst and see a hint of the power that they're capable of. It's like a fade to black moment, and you just see the aftermath carnage of it from other people's perspectives. You learn that the world is kind of all gray and gloomy and not so fun, and ash is falling from the sky, but that it didn't always used to be this way, and it kind of hints at a possibility that their world might have been a lot more similar to the Earth that we live in now. Anyway, that's just a quick example if you want to check it out. And if you want to learn more about voice in writing and how to develop it, check out this video here.